Hello, Tongue and Tonic community, and welcome to the continuation of the Be Your Own Guru sessions. We're into season two, I suppose you call it, and our focus topic for season two is intuition. A couple of words about intuition after I introduce myself. My name is Jemima. I'm from Tongue and Tonic. I'm a registered Chinese medicine practitioner. I also have many other modalities, Reiki, uh, psychic intuition, mediumship, medical mediumship, as well as I do spiritual counseling and a couple of other modalities that are thrown in there. And I run the centre at 474 Glen Huntly Road in Elstonwick called Tongue and Tonic. And we've got lots of other healers who are multimodality practitioners at the centre, as well as all sorts of products that will help you heal. So we have medicines that we make, we sell crystals and pendulums. We're going to be talking about pendulums today. It's my absolute favorite tool of intuition to utilize. And we're going to go through this season and talk about other tools that we can use to further or assist our intuition or help us with our clarity of our intuition. And we're also going to look at ourselves as a tool of intuition. So it's pretty exciting. It's wonderful to understand and see which tools that you resonate with, because just like going through life, having the right tools by your side when you're cooking a meal, if you have all the tools that you need, not necessarily the most high-end tools, but all the tools that you need to complete the dish, you're going to likely have a successful outcome. If you are missing some of the tools, you can make do, and it's good to do that because it's good to be flexible. So you might not produce the meal that you might have wanted, but you might still be very proud of the outcome. This is also a positive road to go down and a positive thought process that you can put on that if you're roadblocking yourself with, well, I don't have that tool or I can't use that. And I'm going to give you a couple of solutions along the way today in regards to pendulum. So without further ado, let's kick off the intuition session for Be Your Own Guru about pendulums. So first thing is first, when we prepare ourselves to tune in, it's important that your vessel or your temple is in a clear and ready state. If you are looking for an answer and you're in a chaotic state, you've split your energies, you've potentially creating different dimensional aspects of yourself. It's better to take some nice deep breaths before you tune in, bring yourself together, come to that calm state, potentially do a little meditation. I've provided an orb cleansing meditation on all of our platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and I hope to see it on our website at some point. We're still working out the ins and outs of that sort of mechanism. And if you haven't met me, you'll come to know that my technology side is a little bit underdeveloped, and I really need support in that aspect. So I do request a lot of people to help me there, and sometimes I need to be patient for that, which I am. Okay, so make sure that you cleanse your temple, you cleanse yourself, you're in a calm state. If you pick up your pendulum or your tool, or whichever tool that you resonate and that you're using, you'll often find with the pendulum in particular, it will just shake. So if you have a pendulum and it's hanging and you're asking it a question, it's just shaking, you're approaching it in the wrong way. First of all, you need to go and cleanse your pendulum. And it's a good process or a routine to get into before using any of your tools, to cleanse them. How can you cleanse them? You can cleanse them by putting them out in the full moon. And this goes with any of your tools that you use with intuition. even us, dancing out in the full moon, we feel renewed or refreshed. So if you've got a crystal that is a crystal that's not going to disintegrate, that a crystal, just double check beforehand. If you've got a pendulum, and the pendulum I've just whipped out from the shop is an angelite pendulum. If you put an angelite pendulum in salt water, it is going to slowly disintegrate. If you put a quartz pendulum in salt water to cleanse it, it's going to be fine. Any quartz is going to be fine. If you put fuchsite or selenite into salt water, it's going to slowly disintegrate. Also, anything with mica in it realistically is going to just slowly disintegrate as you cleanse it with salt water. So just check it up just to make sure whatever tools you're using, that your cleansing process is going to be a positive for that tool, rather than disintegrating your crystal. That would be super sad. I'd be super sad. Well, I've done it before and I was super sad. So and it was with angelite. So there we go. So that's why I know that angelite disintegrates in salt water. What else can you use? You can use sage. So you can cleanse your crystals with sage. You can use incense sticks. You can use sage sticks. These are we have all these tools in the shop. If you are unable to find the tools, please head to us, and or simply, look up and call around, go on a little adventure to find these tools in your local area if you're really far away from us. You can also use sound, vibrational sound. Everything is vibration. If your pendulum or yourself are housed in a vibration that is not conducive to the movement forward, the tuning in, or providing answers or clarity, then you need to sit into a different vibration. If you don't have a sound healing bowl or the little tinctures, or any kind of sort of sound healing aspects that would be of assistance, go to YouTube, go to Miracle Healing Tones and pop on some binaural beats. There's so many ways. There are so many options. This can be a free adventure, or it can be adventure that you invest in with tools. There's always opportunities if you're a little bit hard up at the time. So now let's move straight. Done cleansing, tick. So now we can move straight into pendulums. So pendulums were originally used for dowsing or finding water. It's very much can be used by midwives or anyone really to check the sex of the baby. You don't need an ultrasound to do that. Pendulums are very, very spot on. The amount of stories from people that have come in to tell me that, one lady came in to tell me that her mother, was quite a stickler, had this ducted heating put in. She checked her pendulum. The pendulum said, it's not good. It's not working properly. There's something wrong with it. She called the company. They insisted it wasn't. She insisted it was. They ended up coming in, taking all of the heating out, then finding all these issues with it, and came back and profusely apologized. I've heard multiple stories like this. When I am giving medications in the shop, I will, assess the person, get all the information, and then I'll tune in myself, check that I've received everything, check that there's nothing else that came out of left field that might be related to what is happening with the person, perhaps some type of emotional or mental or energetic or esoteric factor that may be factoring in. And then I will then take my pendulum and just have my medicinal options, speak to my client there that's standing there to see which ones that they may or may not resonate with. Some people don't want to take the tonic, some people can't take pills. So everybody's different. So there's always options to press forward. And then if we're down to sort of one or two and they're pretty much doing a similar thing but may resonate in the body in a slightly different way, then I'll take my pendulum, use the pendulum, and we'll go that way. So it's a very, very, very handy tool to utilize. my other utilizing tool of this pendulum is when my boys were younger, and I still do it now occasionally. I used to say, did you eat your lunch today, or did you throw it in the bin? And like young kids, they kind of try on the line a little bit, and it's I find it pretty entertaining. I wasn't really offended by it. Everybody gives lying a go to see if it gels well or see if you can get past something. It's always good to sneak a chocolate here or there when you're a kid. It feels kind of naughty. Anyway, so I'd ask the pendulum. I'd say, okay, well, we'll get the pendulum out and we'll check with the pendulum. I think I did make a video on Instagram of it actually. And we'd be checking the pendulum, and there would just be, I didn't know. I couldn't tell how does it know the truth? Oh my gosh, it can see all the way in me. So it was so divine. So my children's love for pendulums came at a very young age as well. And then my eldest son he had a question. He pulled one of the pendulums down one day when we were in the shop, and he asked the question, because you can ask a question out loud, or you can ask a question just quietly within you, because remember, your information comes out, it sits on your orb or your auric field, and it goes to then, you can then process it, whether you speak it out loud or whether you're using your telepathic skills. And this is a crystal. So the crystal is energy, the crystal's is vibration. So if you send that energetic message to the pendulum is happy to answer for you. It doesn't need you to speak out loud. Oh, a little cat here. And okay, so yeah, so you don't need to ask the question out loud. Anyway, so I was very curious. Like, what did you ask the pendulum, Levi? And he said, I asked it whether it has a spirit inside it and whether they all have a spirit inside them. I said, oh, that's a very good question. I said, what's the answer? He said, yes, it said they do. And I was like, wow. Um, I was pretty excited by that, and thinking about all the crystals that we have in the store, and like a lot of the crystals say that they're very protective, or they have a spirit protector within them that actually helps you navigate and helps support you in the journey. And I was just really blown away by that. I thought that's just fantastic, and it did take it to another level for me. It took it to that point where I was like, wow. So they have an energetic resonance or spirit or essence within them. We have that essence. We're all connecting on that different level. And what is interesting, and I find that also very interesting, is that people are attracted to utilize different crystals for their pendulums when they go to choose their pendulum. And people that are sitting in a space where they need more protection in their life, or they need more support in their life, they'll go for a crystal that has those attributes. And when they're working on their spirituality, their intuition, they choose a crystal just naturally without anyone saying anything, because we choose to say little in the store. We choose to request that the person choose according to their own intuition, as you know yourself best. Nobody knows you better than you. And every time, each person nails it according to your vibration. So this is great, and it validates for me. I mean, I was already there, but it does help me explain to other people the aspect of crystals and the sense that everything is vibration, and we're all just here sending out different vibrations and bouncing off other people, things, objects, aspects of nature, and then receiving back that vibration. Do you allow it in, or do you keep it on the outside? That's the other thing. When you use your pendulum, do you receive that information towards you? Do you allow that information in, or have you got a blockage on your orb? So if you're finding that you're struggling using any of the tools, or you're still having a little bit of a struggle with intuition, I would highly recommend that you go back and go through some of the other videos, definitely go through the meditation to help get you in a great space to then step into your intuition. Just like everything, if you went to the gym and you went hardcore straight away, you're going to injure yourself, you're going to roadblock yourself, an injury is essentially just a roadblock. You've roadblocked yourself from going back into the gym. You've roadblocked yourself from moving on from your goal. And that's what happens with your intuition as well. If you're going to throw yourself in there without any preparation, you're potentially going to cause yourself a fair bit of chaos and confusion. And I would recommend, well, it depends on your life pathway actually and how you treat yourself. Each person is individual, and each person has a right to make the choices on their own. And each choice has a positive or negative consequence, or potentially a different pathway for your journey. So nothing is right or wrong. It is simply the adventure of life.